versus Artorias. Set 1 will be starting with Wraith, and then we'll be going to Blight, and the tiebreaker will be Cannibal if we get there. But we will be loading in and seeing Brotherlord stealthing up towards 3.
And yeah, everyone's just gonna be stealthing. Of course, Wraith is always a very stealth heavy killer. You need to not get caught out in too terrible of a position, or you could very easily snowball the match. But you also notice, like I said, this is budget battle, meaning all the perks, every single perk that's in the game and that is allowed against said killer is priced differently. So you're gonna see a lot of the survivor builds and possibly even the killer builds with very differentiating perks. As you can see on Brotherlord, he only has head on and quick and quiet, and that's it. The other players, I'm assuming, will also have different builds as well to pricing the perks around each of the killers and each of the survivors. We see Clapson there going down in the background at 3. I'm not sure exactly how they got the down, but we do see the first down and not a whole lot of progress on the map, but I think a pretty good start for our killer of Ancestor.
Yeah, so we're going to see our Wraith head back into main here. We will be going up around the top of main to see if we can catch a survivor out of position. However, our main user has moved away. We're looking towards Gallows. We actually see, I think that's Goblin, who is actually in the Gallows gen right now. No, this is going to be Goblin, who will be trying to look for a quick down on. We do get the quick pallet break at the connecting pallet towards Shack. However, we're not going to be able to make any hits here. We will be rotating back to our Nair, who will be trying to stealth this one out. Oh, that's a horrible stealth. We've just been decimated. That's just a pure destruction, that one. That's rough.
Absolute destruction indeed, and we do still see a lot of gen pressure being made. We see 3 different gens. Brotherlords is just a little bit over half. We see Doomby's about to take that quarter, and then Goblin's gen was just I think about to hit the halfway mark. But we do get our second hook onto Clap, get our eruption, and just leave. We do see Brother that was on that 6 generator, but we're not worried about committing to them quite yet. We're just happy with getting our turn back the clock onto Gallows, spread our eruption, and see if we can catch anyone out. We do see Goblin over here at the 7 pallet right here, giving the Wraith a little smooth right there, but dropping the pallet on the wrong side. We get the M1 onto them, and I believe we will cloak and go back to the hook, and yes, that's exactly what we're going to do. So we will see Brother pop the first gen in the background for it, but Clapson now in a very tough position. I don't think they're going to be able, unless the killer can body block them from the pallet, which they're so far successfully doing, but they are able to vault through the window, make it to the Shack pallet, buy a little bit more time. And Doomy's gen is also on the way, almost 3/4. So, but this down's gonna come in very quick, unless a body block can come in the form of Brotherlord coming in for the body block. That's exactly what they need. Going to the 3v1 with almost 3 gens remaining is not gonna be fun. Vaulting through the window, and I don't think we're gonna see Clap Simulator survive much longer as we see the down inside main. But we will see the second generator pop, but that is the death of Clap at 3 gens remaining.
Yeah, I will say that is a very fast down. Usually Wraith we see a death at 1 or 2, but R3 that is extremely fast, and we don't really have much gen progress besides this either, so there's not really too many options to rely on for our survivor team here. So hopefully we're able to have a long chase and clutch up. Speaking of, we are taking the next chase on Goblin, who will be able to make this pallet at 9, actually walk straight through it, which is the right thing to do here. We do get some extra time. Sends the Wraith back to invisible, and we try and body block, but it's not going to end up working. We screen ourselves all the way back around, buying extra time, just barely see the down there. That is just depressing. But Goblin almost over the pallet there. Will be taking the down. That will be our 4th hook state of the game, as we see Doom and I assume Brotherlord doing gens in the background. Now we actually see the stealth coming in from Brotherlord here, moving towards the unhook. I think we're going to see a very quick unhook here. We do know that Main is being heavily progressed, sitting at about 50% right now, but we do see the unhook in the background as Goblin is going to be stepping away, hoping to get a bit of a stealthy, but no, we are caught. However, we do have some action to play around.
Some action D. We do have this little pallet over here in front of the 7 building, but other than that, there's really no whole lot. Maybe they can path their way over to Shack, connect to the window, but I don't know if they're gonna make it. No, they will not make it. I think this is a good time to bring up that this is a ping match. Ancestor is I believe they are SCA, and I know Artorias is OC, so you will see a lot of hits looking a little odd on our screens, but that's just how the ping works. But these teams are definitely good enough to be able to play through that ping. But you see the hook into the basement, turn back the clock on main, and Saul doing a great job pressuring these gens. And I think we just barely heard the footsteps of Warlord around the wagon pallet, swing at it, completely missing. And we broke the wagon pallet earlier, but I don't know if we were playing as if it was still up. But we do eventually get the tag at this downed pallet, and Warlord forced to play the pallet, going invisible, breaking the pallet, gonna probably break another pallet while invisible. Wait, did we get? Oh, we blocked the prompt. Wait, oh. No, we get the grab onto Warlord. I thought we might have blocked the prompt, but we did not. So we will see Warlord going onto this pain res, and I think with this hook, I think this might be the 4K3 possibly.
Yeah, we also had a miscom there as well because we did not get off the gen quick enough. Doom still working on the gen here, and a 4K3 on Wraith is, to put it lightly, not good result. It's definitely not what you're looking for. I mean, OC has always had a problem with Wraith. Ever since I started comp, Wraith has always been one of those sore spots for OC where we just constantly get 4K1 and just very rarely see escapes. 4K3 isn't as common, but we are seeing it today as Broadlord is our final chase, and unless we're able to go crazy and make pallets pretty much come out of thin air, I don't think we're going to be getting away from this one. As we swing right through, do see the stun, but we're not going to be able to make anywhere from it. We don't have smash yet. We're going to be forced towards 4 instead, as we have another strong pallet here. We needed these longer chases to come through later in the game, but this is just a little bit of a rough game for our Survivor team here. Beating a 4K3 win con as Wraith is going to be quite the challenge. We do see Broadlord now being forced to move up towards 3 as we continue this final chase. We do get a body block on the Wraith, but we are not able to stop them from getting through. No, we get a terrible misread as we get caught out of position from our Wraith. We do go down, and now we are going to look for the Survivor on the ground, which we find straight away.
Yep, and it's good that we did find Doomy first, because if the fresh hook were to bleed out, that would be taking away that fresh stage from Saul's result. So we do get the hook onto Doomy, and we will get the Mori onto... Oh, no, we're happy with getting the hook onto Willard. So yeah, 4K3 result for Ancestor. Absolutely a fantastic result. Definitely going to be extremely, extremely difficult for Artorias to win, or even, surprisingly, no pain risk. I don't know if that is the play, but we also see basically no perks on the Survivor side either. Look at that. We got 1 perk on Dagestan, with a couple on Yuki for the head-on build, a couple on Luthor, but yeah, the bare bones. But I think the Survivors are very confident in their picks as this is their pick.
Yeah, we are going to follow Broadlord here out. Wraith needs to have quite a successful set. Needs a 4K4 to get the win. 4K3 will be the tie, and 4K2 or anything worse will be the loss and the step point towards the Survivors. So we are going to see the first chase does occur onto Dan here, who will be taking a very quick down, actually, unless we get very lucky. No, we are going to be taking a quick down. Doubt anyone's nearby. No, we are all on gens. There is going to be no pallet save here. And, well, considering we need a 4K4, this is a pretty strong start. Effectively a 2-tap off spawn with only 1 pallet used. 11 is gone. So we've set ourselves up in quite a good position as Broadlord. You can't really do anything more successful here. We are going to be heading down towards 5 to see whether we can find anyone who is out of position. We did see the Tori before. However, she stealthed away from us towards 3, which we've actually swapped to her now, and are going to be looking for her. We are almost on top of her, but we decide to screen away instead, and we're looking towards mid to see if we can go towards Gallows instead.
The other thing that's also, I mean, not that it matters too much because of the win con, but we also see a very nice 3-gen Gauss, but again, it doesn't matter as we can pop any absolute shotgun blast through that pallet rock filler onto Dagestan. We see the unhook onto Dan, but yeah, any 2 gens can be pumped for the Tycon, any 3 gens can pump for the win. It's not the hardest thing to do, but Brotherhood so far is doing well as no gens have popped yet. Although Yuki's gen is just about to pop, we see the pallet drop over at the wagon here at 3. Running, not check spying very well, running straight into the arms of the killer, but getting a little bit of distance over to 2, trying to drag the killer away from the active generators. But in seeing the first gen pop, we are leaving that chase and we want to go to these other gens that might have some more activity on it. We do see one of the survivors over here at the wagon pallet near Shack, and we do see the second highest active. Oh no, we barely didn't have. I believe Riddler was trying to go for the grab at that pallet, but didn't fully uncloak and was not able to get the the grab, but get another shotgun blast through the pallet. We get the pallet stun and the swing through it, and that will be the down onto Dagestan, and that will be another hook state to add to the board. But you can hear the pistons pumping away at these gens, and it's, I mean, still in a fairly good spot for Brother given the result that he needs to get, but still on the back foot.
Yeah, I mean, 4K4, it's insane how well we're doing. We considered still on the back foot just based on how poorly our Survivor team performed. I'm a Survivor team that we were a part of. But yeah, 4K3 isn't too common, but we are going to see, hopefully this will be what we need to get back in. And I mean, I guess just watching the 10 minutes of this, both Survivor teams are making huge, very avoidable mistakes. And I mean, it doesn't really seem to be one person. It just seems to be a consistent flow across the board that both teams are really, really struggling. Dan, a bit of slow reaction times from Dan there. Did give a free hit. However, we were able to get away with our life at the very least. And we do swap to our Megan, who's smashing out the HM. We're actually running straight to corner because we've been forced into a dead zone. Don't think that blind is going to give us too much value. And we take the down, and we'll be going down at corner 8. So we are still at 4 gens left. And we are just doing a full reset right now. And I think that's fine, but we really need to get moving on these generators. We are at 3 hooks already. And somehow, Brotherhood is still holding on to this win con. What?
It is extremely, like, I'm surprised how hard he's, I mean, obviously he's going to fight to get this win, but I'm surprised he still has these gens standing. I mean, we do see the full reset on all the survivors, so no one else is injured. But I mean, he's passed him by Yuki in front of main. But if we do get this tunnel out at 4 gens, all of a sudden, I mean, it's still an uphill battle for Brotherhood regardless, but if we turn this to a 3v1 and at 4 gens, all of a sudden this win con looks achievable. And we get the dash through the wagon at 10, and we get the injure onto Luthor, going back over to Dagestan and Hook, expecting that someone is coming in for the save, and we do catch out Yuki trying to come in for the save. They will be successful in getting it. They will get a injure for it, but at least they will keep it a 4v1, get the down, and I believe we're just going to continue this chase. Brotherhood knows as much as we do. This needs to be a 3v1, even though the survivors are making a lot of mistakes. Regardless, they need to get this to a 3v1. They need to make this as difficult for the. Wait, what the heck? Dagestan just barely had enough BT on their the timer on their BT, and they were able to get the stun at Shack while they were still in the while they're still cloaked. Now this chase is still going a lot longer than Brotherhood was expecting. Keep the chase over here at 4, keeping the chase away from all the gens. Oh no, getting out pathed and not able to make it to the war tower. So it will be the death at 4 gens, but we do see the main gen pop. So this is a Tycon, so the best that Brotherhood can do is keep the rest of the generators from popping. But Brotherhood's kind of in a dominant position. I mean, aside from that gen popped, I don't think there's a whole lot of gen pressure on the map, Starzy.
Yeah, I mean, even though that's the case, we found 2 survivors out of position as well. Okay, we're just screwing around with that right here. So, regardless of that, we only really need to complete 1. The fact that there's no gen pressure on the map now is okay for now. It's only okay for the next minute or so. We can't really waste this chase because if we do, we seem to be giving a lot of 2-taps. Luther is still injured, and we can't really have another... We can't have another 2-tap because we put ourselves into a position where we really don't have that much pressure across the board. We do have a gen at 50. Obviously, mid's being progressed as well. Didn't actually see what it was, but we have forced ourselves into a pretty bad situation. My God, and Luther, a terrible, terrible misread, gives a free down. Could have delayed it by a few seconds, but we don't, and we give the down. We still have Yuki here, and if we give a quick hit, this could all be over because Dan is injured. Luther is on the ground, and this 3v1 is starting to become terrifying, and we're not even coming in for the support. We're just doing the gen, and Yuki needs to have a good chase here unless Luther gets picked up. And my God, we're forcing ourselves into a corner as well. We're going to be taking a hit. We're taking a hit towards where the gen is. We see mid, and I think we see it getting progressed as well. And we are turning towards mid. Yuki needs to go for the res right now as this gen is sitting at 40, and we're going to need to have another juicer chase. The survivors are legitimately looking like we might give a 4K3 again.
It is absolutely looking impossible. We break the door at 3, and if this turns into a very fast down, which it could possibly be done with this very not so good pallet, will they make it over the vault? They go for the vault at the window, and that is a very delayed vault, and that will be the injury. And we do see the pickup though onto Luthor, and I think, bro, last time they saw them it was over near this 8-7 area, but the pickup was at 10, so there is a possibility for them to stealth off. But I never thought I would say with this win con or this tie con that Warlord is looking dominant right now, and they are able to stealth off. Maybe they can get a reset, but with a sloppy butcher, maybe not so. But Warlord doesn't see any progress on the map. He applied his kicks, and he was just happy with hooking Dan and possibly turning this into a 2v1. But I am absolutely blown away by how Warlord is playing right now.
Yeah, blown away is one word for it. It's the fact that we're holding on to 2 4K3s. What are we doing, bro? Come on. It's just no way. We see the instant unhook, but the fact that this is legit happening 2 times in a Wraith set. No, we're not doing it again, man. There's no way. Come on. Okay, well, at least we get the stun for it. That's fine. But my God, we're just really inviting death's door here. This is a battle. This is just a scratch battle here as both sides are effectively just clinging on for dear life. It doesn't... Oh, okay, we've run straight into the killer. It doesn't feel like either side really has that much control. It feels like with 1 or 2 different plays, it really could go completely differently, but it's not, and it feels like both sides are just kind of clinging onto the cliff's edge and hoping for the best. Of course, this is more advantageous for our survivors because they're fighting for the win rather than the loss. But really, it still could go either way. We still do see the down onto Luther. We probably will see the hook as well with Yuki getting the res in the background. So still, the survivors trying to play as quickly as possible. It would be great to see a reset at some point, but it's just so slow. I mean, we really can't win. It looks like it's what we're looking for, though, as we're actually going to edge map to get the reset.
I think that is the best play. I mean, Sloppy is definitely going to get a lot of value. This is going to be a very, very slow reset, but you do see them trying to meet up, but I don't think they'll be able to, as Warlord is sniffing them out right now. They suspect that they're around this area because this is the last time they were seen, and they are looking around. They are going to catch out one of the survivors. They do catch out Dan, and this is the second tunnel out. This is about to turn into a 2v1. Yes, they try to force the locker, so at least they're not slugging, and that gives Yuki enough time to get the unhook onto Luther. But I don't see a world where these survivors can pop another gen. I mean, tie isn't the end of the world, but definitely, Warlord is definitely, even though this is a tie, Warlord, I think it will definitely see this as a win in his book, because I mean, that win con, or this result is incredibly difficult to achieve, and it looks like he's achieved the tie con.
Yeah, this is just falling out of control pretty quickly. We have put ourselves into a pretty shocking situation where 4K3 is the best that we can get on a Wraith set. And I mean, both teams just it was just 2 taps off spawn, and then it was just more 2 taps after that, and it's just these it's rough to watch because it sounds like there's just so many errors that are just coming out of nowhere, and it's just constant. There's not really that many games where we see 53s going to Wraith. To get 2 of them in the same set is very surprising. We are going to see the down onto Yuki here, and this is going to be the game. So that's going to be another 4K3, which is going to be a tie. So there you go. We're going to see a tie on the Wraith set, both 4K3s. We will be back with you soon. We're going to head straight into the next set, where hopefully we'll see some juicer gameplay from our survivors. But we'll be back with you in just a few minutes. D-tier killer. That, oh, I saw a two perk survivor. That's already a bad sign. Oh, okay. So we have 2. Right, okay. No, so we have mostly fleshed out builds. We have 1 or 2 that are a bit short, but nothing too detrimental. So hopefully, now that we've got more to play with, hopefully we'll be able to play better. But we will see Brylord making our way towards, oh my god, the other side of the map where Cahill is in a chase immediately. We've already found 2 survivors. This is a great start for our Blight, and we will be giving a hit very quickly. Oh no. Oh, team. We gotta lock in, team. We gotta lock in.
Yes, we really need to lock in. I think Dan expected there to be a pallet at that dumpster, but it did not spawn, so we give up a free M1, try going to the one side corner, but dropped the pallet immediately and got zoned, and we did get a very fast down onto Dan. So we're loaded in a very commanding position. Now we do see some gen pressure being brought on the map. We see Dagestan and Luther on gens, but this middle hook toward the top side is a great hook. You can kind of zoom around these generators and really catch out a lot of survivors. And we do see some crash marks inside main, suspecting that someone is working on that main generator. And we do catch out the Sable behind main, and we do get the pallets done. So give them a little bit of distance to make their way toward the bottom side of the map. But there's another pallet that didn't spawn at this truck, and we were thinking that there was gonna be one, but we just take our injure, and we're gonna go back to our hooked Dan. We see the unhook coming through, Dagestan getting the unhook, and Dan just playing around the front side of main, using their haste and their BT to their advantage, using this, just barely hit the end of Dan's BT, giving him even more distance to working around the one side of main, maybe making their way back over. This one side corner just has nothing over here, and we do see the down onto Dan behind main. We will see at least 1 gen pop in the background, with Luther popping the Shack gen, but still Brylord is in a fantastic position.
Yeah, that was just not great positioning by Dan there. Really ran for the call. He had already been ready, knew that nothing was there, and then we just decided to go back anyway. You know, maybe there was some hidden pallets there. Not this time, unfortunately. We weren't able to find any, but we will almost get this down onto kill. We actually just missed with hitting the side of the upright pallet there. But oh, problems team, we're lagging out. Oh, gee. all right. So, we have 220 MS. That's not that much. Oh my god, bro, what is going on? Okay, like, I know we're doing that well, but my god, you have to ping ramp him to calm him down. My god. Okay, well, we're back towards Dan's hook, I guess. I think that's and my god, we get a hit on Dagestan as well. This is just falling apart.
Seems like this game is falling apart from all sides. You're breaking down with your cops. Our killer is breaking down with the ping. Survivors are getting caught out, and the one good thing that comes from the Survivor side, they are hiding their tunnel in the form of Dan, but this game has been extremely lackluster. We do slug Dagestan in the corner. We do not want anything to do with them. We want to find Dan. Dan is the man that we need to turn this into a 3v1 at 4 gens, but we will see Luther popping their gen momentarily. We do catch out Cahill instead, and so Dan, I think it's safe to say that we're not going to find them anytime soon unless we catch them out. But we will probably see one of them rotating around to pick up Dagestan. Yes, we do see Thor picking up Dagestan, and we do get the down onto Kyle, and we will get the pickup, as we don't want to waste too much time trying to find our tunnel out. It's just best to get the hook states moving, yeah, spread it around, spread the injuries, and trying to put as much pressure onto the survivors as possible.
Yeah, this will get us more value in the mid game to play around. We actually do have a couple of extra hook states on the board. We do see that our Meg was able to get up and actually do a full reset in the corner with the Meg kit. We do see Brolord going to check just in case, but looks like she has left, and we are going to rotate all the way back down, following some very light scratch marks there. We do find Luther. We do get a quick drop on this pallet here. My God, we actually don't get the blind off. That is that is a very rough one to watch. I'm wondering whether Luther is our champion and light player, because we've actually seen quite a bit of that. No, it's not. It's just a normal blind. But we will be able to step away for just a few seconds as we see the power does come straight through onto us. Luther is down, Cahill still on hook, and we are rotating to another gen. We are putting so much pressure on the board right now. And as long as we get back and get this unhooked quickly, or get this reset quickly, we will be able to get going. But it looks like we're not playing around this unhook. We're actually letting Cahill hang. And with Cahill hanging, we're going to let... Oh my God, Cahill's gone to second, even though it was so safe. He's on the other side of the map. We got up Luther first. What? What am I watching?
I am confused by the decision making, but at least all four... Oh, I was going to say at least all four survivors are standing. At least all four survivors are standing, so I mean, not all is lost. We do see 3 injuries across the board, including Kyle. Now we have 2 tunnel out survivors. This is a very, very lackluster game. It's extremely... I'm not... Okay, I'm a little tongue-tied here. I'm trying to not to be too negative. I mean, we're trying to be non-biased to both sides, but when a lot of interesting decision making is being made, we just got cast at what we're seeing and call it what is happening. So and as what we're seeing right now, a lot of mistakes on the survivor side, and I don't think I should have been brought to second stage. They should have been able to get the pull. It was far away from the chase, but that is not what happened, and we will see, like I said, 2 death hook survivors now, 1 with hook stage and 1 fresh left, and we do catch out Kyle over here at the bottom side of the map, doing some standstill mind checks at this trash pallet filler, going for the break, and it might get the firecracker blind. No, we will not get the firecracker blind. We'll give kind of a little bit of distance to make it over to 5 and go for the window fall, and they do make it. Ping will not help you this time, Lord, but we do make it over to this pallet. We drop it immediately and trying to make as much distance as possible, but this will be the down on Nickel Hill, and this will be them leaving the trial at 3 gens remaining.
Like you said, just mistake after mistake, and I think unless we see something great from our team coming in next, yeah, both teams are going to have to really look back on their survivor gameplay. The killers seem to be fine, like the killers seem to be relatively switched on, but I think the survivor gameplay is something we might need to do a little rewatch the VOD, see what could have been done differently, what should be focused on next time. There's a lot of rotations that either seem to be quite slow or out of position. So I think that's something we really need to work on. Just team positioning is just not really all where it should be. But we are going to see Luther take the next chase at 8. And we'll see the down coming in quite quickly, though, using our Blight power very effectively. Able to get some good mechanic usage there. We do see Dan here ready to pick up Luther for the second time this game, as we see Brolord rotate towards main.
Yeah, we do see a little bit of progress on this generator. I believe Dan was working on that generator before they got called to rotate over to get the pickup onto Luther, which we do see happening, but we are now rushing down to the bottom side of the map, which is where Daggerstan is working on. We hear the vault, we missed the swing, and all we have is this little area to play with. I think there's a couple pallets over here by the cars, but I think we're running to a dead zone, if I'm not mistaken. Unless I'm not sure if the pallet spawned or not, but I'm very confused why we ran this way. I mean, maybe to make distance, maybe to pull away from the pickup and reset, maybe to... I'm just not quite sure why we pulled that way. I mean, it is what it is. Maybe Luther and Dan can make something happen. Maybe there's some gen pressure being made, someone rotating in to pick up Daggerstan, but no, we're not seeing the reset. We're just seeing them stealthing around, trying not to get caught out. I mean, I believe there's a little bit of gen pressure at 10, but survivors are definitely on the back foot here.
It seems to be a consistent thing this game. Survivors are on the back foot. We'll just rotate, and actually, I'd really be keen to see the Survivors builds to see what they were cooking up this game. We'll just get the spectator flick through. So we've got, okay, Spruibus Fixated, yeah, Balance and Deja, that's pretty common as well. Lied, nice. Okay, we weren't able to finish those builds, and of course, we've got a Survivor that's dead. So I can't remember what they were, but I don't think that they were deadly. It seems like we haven't bought a lot of expensive perks. Maybe we put a lot of our points into killer. I'm hoping to at least see some good killer gameplay, but I noticed there's quite a few S tier perks that just haven't really been taken by our survivor team. So hoping that their killer is well stocked, because their survivors seem to be a little bit short.
Yeah, absolutely. We do catch up one survivors over here at 10. We see some scratch marks. Do see a reset in the background, but we jump straight into the arms of our killer. Not able to check spot it quite correctly. Do get the pickup, and now we have a third, another survivor that's going to be on death hook. Dan on death hook, Luther on death hook. Obviously, we already saw the death of Kyle, and we see Dagestan trying to work away at that gen over there at the bottom side of the map. You see Dan going in for the pull onto Luther. So I think we will see a 4K1, but after that, I don't see a world where they can pop all the gens unless we see some crazy chases, or maybe we see a bunch of stealthing happening. We do see the unhook, and well, speaking of stealthing, we catch out Dagestan over here at the edge map of 4. I think it jumped the gun just a little bit too much, and at least they're rotating back down to other resources on the map, but we do still have this down pallet into the window, and I believe there's a little bit over at 6, but going toward the edge map, and we will get the down, and this would be our final fresh hook. So once we hook this, we'll be okay with slugging everyone. And yeah, this is, I was thinking that maybe we see it can still, I think we can still see a 4K1, but Brotherlord is just doing a fantastic job and catching out the survivors once again. We need the stealth. We need to slow this game down. I know the Blight is a fast-paced killer, high-octane killer, but we need to get these resets, and we need to stealth. We can't get caught out like that. We can't give free injuries like that. And being a nice injury onto Dan, Brother will leave and go for the pickup onto our fresh. And Dan is here, being caught out once again, trying to go for the pickup onto Dagestan, chasing them off. And there's not any resources on the side of the map. Well, there's not too many resources anywhere around the map. And we get the down onto Dan. We'll probably pick this up unless we go for the slug and try to find Luthor. But one thing to keep in mind, though, they cannot let Dagestan bleed out. The bleed out timer is getting low, so if this does become a 4K2 with a 4 fresh 12 stages, it'll be a 12 stage 3 fresh if he bleeds out. So it's good that we are finding the final survivor. We get the down onto Luthor, but now he needs to find Dagestan.
I think oh god, sorry. I think this game is a very good example of, oh wow, we actually found him straight away. That's rough. That's rough for our survivor team. Look, I think this game's a really good example of why the budget battle strategy is important. We did not have delis. We did not have a lot of other S tier perks that would have been great in this scenario. It seems like we just kind of mashed exhaustion builds and then kind of went from there and went generally what was okay, balance with Deja. Lithe, which only had any means necessary. We need to prioritize all our sets. Maybe the Tiebreaker has a lot of prioritization. If it does, that's very strange, because usually you would hope that you don't get to tiebreak. But I guess if you know that you're going to drop the first set, then that's fine. But this is a great example of how, maybe 1 or 2 extra perks that were well placed could have made a huge difference in the game. An extra deli could have been huge here, and it probably would have been worth the $5. There were some perks just kind of sitting in our builds that really just didn't do anything just because of how the game went. So hopefully there's some prioritization for we actually heard him, we just don't know where he is. Hopefully there's some prioritization for our Tiebreaker builds. If there is, color me surprised, because we'll be going there. But we still have the second half of this set to play, so seeing Soul load in on the Bubba. Now, for anyone who isn't aware of what happens in this scenario, it all comes down to this set. So whoever wins this set wins the... I was going to say wins the tournament. Fuck, imagine. Whoever wins this set wins the series. So if we see a team that's able to get one more gen done, great. Then that'll count as a 2-1. So, or a 2-1. But we will be seeing the Bubba go straight into main and try and look for a survivor out of position. Just to be aware as well, if we don't see a win, we see another tie, then it will be getting played offline and the results will be posted later.
Absolutely, very well said. And we do catch out Goblin over here, dropping every single pallet in their path, dropping the 7 pallet, dropping the wagon pallet, going over to this pallet over here in front of the house, and going for another drop over here. And I don't think they have anything else, as because the pallet spawned on the Gallows side of the map, it is not on the street side. So we just go for the M1 onto Goblin, leaving him. See some crows flying in the background, and we do see Doomby running toward the corrupted gens, which is good, trying to pull the killer into the corrupted area away from the active generators. See some scratch marks though around the wire tower, suspecting that someone is around here. Maybe there's someone in the locker, or maybe someone set up for a head-on, but no, I'm just opting to leave and follow the trail of Doomby, who we saw earlier, running over to the one side of the map. But we do find Brotherhood over here at main, trying to bait the killer away from the active generators, and yeah, that's exactly what we're seeing. And we also don't see the BAM onto Bubba. We see corrupt eruption, pain res, and turn method clock. I don't know. I mean, they're great perks, they're great regression perks, but I think the bamboozle is just a staple perk, in my opinion, a staple perk to have on the Bubba, as some chases can go very long with the if someone can check spot tiles correctly. Going for the M1 onto Brotherhood, we do see the first gen pop, and we do see another gen on the way, being doubled by Doomby and Hearts Nuts. Another pallet being dropped, and this map is slowly and steadily losing a lot of resources.
Yeah, and something to know as well about that first chase. Goblin had the entire map to use, and they ran the killer directly towards the double. So, probably not where we want to be taking the first chase team, towards the double gen. But, you know, far be it from me to run towards the double. We do have a lot of gen progress actually at the moment. We do see the double again occurring in mid, and then we also had a single somewhere else. It looks like the double's cancelled though, only just, but we do see one of the field gens is done, and at this point we actually only have one hook on the board, so the survivor team seem to have locked in quite a bit. Hopefully we're able to keep this momentum going forward, because as you said, we've lost a ton of resources already, so we need to make sure that we're playing at our absolute peak for this amount of time. We really can't afford to have a bad chase here. And thank God we see Goblin lock in and is able to rotate around the water tower. That is going to be the third gen of the trial blocking already. We do have a lot of very, very quick progress from our survivors. Goblin taking a decent chase towards Shaq, but will be getting left in favor of the main chase, which will be taken up towards the top.
Yes, we continue this chase toward the top side onto Doomby, going for the vault inside main, but opting not to go for them, going for maybe another survivor that's caught out. And we do lose, with those gens popping, we do lose that 3-gen that was over at Gallows, but we still kind of have a 3-gen toward main 1, and I think that was like 3, kind of, sort of. Oh, and we catch out Goblin over here at this small hut behind Water Tower. So we get this pick, and we'll get our nice, got lost over there for a second, pick and pain res, and we'll more than likely try to drag him toward our active generators as best as possible, or just go for a nice pain res here, which we do go for, and we will make our way back up the map, try to pressure those flowers off of it, as I don't believe someone will be too worried about the Gallows gen and just worry about, I mean, it's not the best 3-gen to hold, especially, you know, you got main, you have to climb up the stairs and go up there, and 1 kind of toward the corner, 3 also toward the edge map, but you got turn back the clock so you can regress that main gen from down below as long as you continue getting these downs. But these survivors are doing a great job pre-leaving as best as possible and trying to pull the killer away from active gens.
Yeah, Brotherhood will be taking another chase at main, and we'll be able to vault and actually get to bottom. So we're in a pretty good situation here to delay the down we can actually just go straight to the left as well and buy some extra time. So Brolord in quite a strong setup. He actually decides to step away for a weaker one, but gets the stun anyway, so it doesn't matter. We'll be able to hit towards Shaq as well. We do see some of their teammates working on gens in the background and get the stun as well. So we will be able to step our way towards 8 here. We are going straight towards deep field, and this is a great spot we want to be. We want to be very, very far away from the possible gens, and it looks like, oh, we're right on top of Brolord there. Instead of running to the corner, tried to get away with the blind, but couldn't quite do it.
Actually, because he didn't run to the corner, that gives Saul enough distance to make it to a painter set. Like, it's not like an Omega flop, but they were able to get that pain res and buy enough time to possibly make their way over to the gens. And now I don't think they'll be able to stop main from popping, which will break up the 3-gen now. So I think now Saul's going to want to go for the freshes, go for the pain reses, go for the stages rather than trying to commit to these gens, because these gens are not holdable, as we see the farthest gen at 1 and the Gallows gen definitely not holdable. So we'll just try our best to maybe maybe try to catch out Doomby, maybe try to get some Saw action and get multiple downs as he go for the swing at the window, and he just barely miss Hearts for Snus taking this chase. Oh, kind of running pathing straight towards Saul for a second, and now we will get a down, but we will finally see the 5th gen pop. We haven't seen all 5 gens pop this like for quite a while in this series, but we finally see them all pop, and we will see the hook onto Hearts for Snus. But now Saul, I don't think they will stay here. They will want to find Doomby. That is the best survivor to go for. We see some scratch marks around main, and we see Doomby inside a locker. Saul is not going to find them at all whatsoever. So Saul will go for the next best thing in the form of Goblin or Brother, but if he does find them, more than likely he'll commit to Doomby.
We do see Brolord continue to chase towards 3. We want to kind of lay this down to buy time for our team to get out of the gates, and this is perfect. Jumping in the locker, that's exactly what we want to see. We pretty much forced the hook, and we're resetting here. What? Okay, so we're seeing a reset in the background, even though we could just be leaving in the field. I would hope that we've rotated towards the end now. I can't imagine that there's really any reason for us to stay here. And yes, that's right, they have decided to leave instead finish the reset. So that is going to be stages out the door. That is going to be a fresh first hook and second hook respectively. So when they leave, that will be a 3-5. That will be a 6-hook game. 6 hooks, 3 fresh. So a pretty solid result. Survivors were able to lock in this game and get some outs.
Absolutely. And for some reason, we see the reset in the background as if they're going to try and go for the save. They're not going to go for the save, right? No, they're just standing menacingly at the gate. I'm not sure what kind of ritual we're watching here. I don't know why they're all 3 standing there, but they are. But now we see some action. We finally saw all 5 gens pop. We saw outs the door. It seems like the survivors have finally locked in, and now we are on to the killer of Artorias and survivors of Ancestor. So maybe we'll see the same thing and see what these teams can do, and put everything else out on the table, as this is it. Whoever wins this set wins it overall. And we have a similar build to before, but the one perk difference is they took off pain res for Sloppy, which is a very interesting perk. They also took out turn back clock for Pop, so very interesting. But we do catch out Dan first over here at 1 corner house and make their way over to 2. They have a little bit to work with to loop around, but we just immediately drop this 2 pallet, go for the window vault. Very nice vault over there, and I don't think they have a whole lot unless they can make their way over to the front of main, which they are able to do. Will they get the stun? No, they will not. They wrap themselves around the pallet. Will they get the down? And they will get the down and break the pallet. This is a great start for Brolord, but we do see 3 different gens being worked on.
Yeah, this is pretty much the ideal situation here going. Oh, wow. Okay, we are really, really committing to keeping the survivor alive. And my God, this is going to be a huge mistake. You need to be very, very careful when offering yourself for a hit take, because it can just completely end your... Oh my God, what is going on? We're not getting 4K5. Like, it's just not happening. Okay, so
Um, wow. Fortunately, for our survivor team, they don't know where the last survivor is. So I think we are going to see Cahill. Yeah, we're going to see Cahill get up pretty quickly. But I also think that we're going to be seeing 2 survivors in basement at 5 gens. My god, it cannot get much worse than that.
And I think we know exactly where the pickup came from. So I think we're just going to see if we can hunt them down. But now we're just, like you said, we're just happy with putting Dan in actually not putting him in basement. I don't know if I agree with that. The kind of, I mean, it's still, the Killer Brother is able to stand right here in between basement and this middle hook. So it's going to be difficult regardless. But Brother is in a very, very commanding position. I think it's even open for to beat everyone down at 5 gens. We do see the first down, get the BT hit, going for the second one. Oh my gosh, is Epidemic in the building. Holy crap. We now finally see our 4th and final survivor in the form of Dagestan. This more than likely, unless Dagestan can do something insane and get the pickups or the unhooks, this will be the final chase of the night. And yes, we do catch him out over here at the wagon pallet. We drop that immediately, have to drop everything to possibly get the wing going for the window rather than for the pallet. We're gonna bolt into them. Are they gonna make it back to the pallet? I think they do have enough distance to make it to the pallet. They go for the drop, they go for the M1 and the stun. But yeah, this is about to spell the end for Ancestor. They did a phenomenal job getting all these tiebreaker sets, but I think this is where it finally ends, although they do have all of main to work on, so we will still see a very long chase ahead of us. But what a better way to end this set. I mean, you gotta do something to get the morale up. I mean, 4k5 on Bubba is not the expected result, Starzy.
Yeah, yeah, it's really not. I gotta agree, and you said before, well done to the teams for tying multiple times. Yeah. Look, you gave it a good effort. It was not a good day today, team. We did not do well. I think, look, I mean, a 4k5. There's just so much that went wrong in the span of like 15 seconds, and it's not common at all that happens. I thought that, yep, we might be seeing a 4k, but my god, I did not expect a 4k5. If you're gonna block someone that has an